I just spoke to Tommy Robinson. He called me and told me the news. They're trying to send him back to prison next month. Here are the details. You know, it was just last week Tommy won his stunning Court of Appeal victory. So many people were jubilant, and the elite media were furious. Justice was served. Tommy was vindicated. When he was let out of prison, I met with him and his family, and I had a hug and a handshake. We paid the last of his legal bills, and then we shut down our crowdfunding campaign. We were done. I came back to Canada. Tommy went away with his family for 2 weeks of quiet personal time to reconnect with them. Mission accomplished. That felt pretty good. Thank you for helping. But now Tommy called me. Why would he do that? He should be spending time with his family, not talking to me. Well, he had bad news. First, he tells me he's been unwell. You saw how he was abused in prison. They starved him. He lost 40 pounds of weight. They refused his request to let him even buy more food. They did not give him any medical care in prison. Since he's been out, he's been to the hospital twice already. He'll get better eventually, but they tortured him in prison, physically and psychologically. A man's not meant to be in solitary confinement, locked in a small cage 23.5 hours a day for 2 solid months, with Muslim prison gangs being allowed to come right up to his cell, shouting violent threats at him, literally pushing their own human excrement through his prison window, all the while he's living on just a can of tuna and a piece of fruit a day. Only 2 visits the entire time from his family. That's what the prison officials ordered be done to Tommy. But that's not the worst of it. Tommy tells me that the UK government insists on proceeding against him in criminal court a second time. You thought they were done with him. They want to put him through another trial for the same thing, for his Facebook live stream that day back in May in Leeds, the one that he just spent 2 months in solitary confinement for, an improper and illegal sentence, according to the Court of Appeal. They want to do it to him all over again. They want to put him in prison again. I am sorry, but that will probably kill him. You saw him after 2 months in solitary confinement. Now imagine him after 13 months. They've already scheduled the next trial, September 4th at Old Bailey. That's the main criminal court in London. Tommy should never have served a day in prison. No British journalist has been imprisoned for contempt of court since the 1940s. They want him to serve even more time now. They want to go at him again. I should tell you, and let me be very clear on this, the UK government does not have to do this. In fact, they've never sent a journalist to prison for contempt of court since the 40s. The leading contempt of court case in the United Kingdom, the leading legal precedent, a judgment written by Lord Justice Brian Levant himself, the head criminal judge in the UK. He says you don't have to do that. You don't even have to retry someone for contempt when it's thrown out for procedural reasons, as happened to Tommy. Let me tell you about this important legal precedent for 1 minute and look at the double standard as it's applied to Tommy Robinson. In this leading case, there was a lawyer named Ian Stewart West who is in outrageous conduct in court. There was in court arguing with the judge, insulting the judge, and then he refused to show up in court when the judge ordered him to do so. And he quarreled with the judge. He was abusive to the judge. And then, and I can't even believe this, this lawyer, Ian Stewart West, stood there in the court and demanded that the judge apologize to him. That judge later wrote, and I quote, "I thought your behavior was appalling in open court. I think leaving court when you were required here in the afternoon was monstrous." Appalling and monstrous. Later on, Judge Brian Levant of the Court of Appeal called it, and I quote, "willful and deliberate disobedience of an order of the court as an act of defiance which is serious misconduct," unquote. So what happened to this guy? He paid a fine of a few £100s, but then he appealed, and the Court of Appeal quashed that verdict like they did for Tommy, saying it was procedurally flawed, like they said for Tommy. But they decided that Ian Stewart West didn't have to go back for a second hearing. He was done. No fine, no prison, he could go. Monstrous and appalling. But Tommy, who just improperly spent 2 months in solitary confinement, he has to go back to court again and likely back to prison again. Tommy has lost 40 pounds from starvation in prison. He is unwell. He did not deliberately undermine the courts like Ian Stewart West did. He immediately offered to take down his Facebook live stream when asked. He cooperated. He didn't even know he was breaking the rules in the first place. He didn't shout back at the judge like Ian Stewart West did. Ian Stewart West was free to go, but Tommy Robinson has to go back to court. So Tommy called me and asked me to help him one more time. And I told him I would. He said he needs to pay for the lawyers again. I've talked to the lawyers, and so we've started up SaveTommy.com, the crowdfunding page again, because we have to pay for them to prepare for another hearing now. We have to pay to do this bloody thing all over again. Can you please go to SaveTommy.com to help? Please do. But why is this happening at all? Has Tommy not served enough time in prison for being a journalist? Last month, I met the new Attorney General of the United Kingdom, Geoffrey Cox. Did I tell you that? I met him the day he was sworn in court. I went right up to him and I shook his hand and I asked him about Tommy Robinson and Tommy's treatment in prison. Now, Cox said he had been too busy preparing for his new position of Attorney General to get caught up on the news about Tommy. Okay, fair enough. But he surely had a chance to get it caught up by now. So we have a petition now. Please sign the petition at SaveTommy.com. It's to Geoffrey Cox, the Attorney General, telling him to stop treating Tommy Robinson like a political prisoner in a banana republic. We will personally deliver this petition to the Attorney General's office in London, demanding that this abuse of Tommy Robinson be stopped, that this endless harassment be stopped. The Court of Appeal said that Tommy Robinson was wrongly convicted and wrongly sentenced. He should not be subjected to a second round of punishment for the same thing. The United Kingdom must stop its disgraceful treatment of a man who is clearly being treated as a political prisoner and who is being tortured while in Her Majesty's prisons. Go to SaveTommy.com. Tommy has asked for my help one more time, so I'll do it, and I need your help. He's not well. He's not yet fit. They wrecked him in prison. Please go to SaveTommy.com. Help us fight for his freedom one last time. And sign the petition that we will personally deliver to the Attorney General's office, demanding that he call off this persecution. Go to SaveTommy.com. We need to help him one last time. Tommy asked me for help, and I'm asking you for help. Go to SaveTommy.com. Help him pay for his second hearing and sign the petition to the Attorney General.